Hello friends, welcome back. Let's read some petty revenge. Let's see, roommates stopped contributing, so we left them nothing. I feel like I'm losing my voice, no. This happened during my junior year of college. I, Claire, live with 5 other women. I'll call them Abby, Brooke, Danny, Ella, and Fran. I feel like that's the real name. Am I the only one who, like, when I repost like these and somebody's like, I'll call this person this name, I feel like they didn't even change the name. Nobody would know. Who would know? When we signed the lease on the house, we agreed to a 1-year deal, June 1st through May 31st. The house was off campus and unfurnished, so we needed things to make it feel like home. Prior to moving in, we all sat down and decided what we needed for the house and who was going to bring what and settled on a chores schedule. I need to zoom this in. I can't see. Can I zoom? Blind, I gotta zoom in. There we go. We also decided we'd have a household supply fund set up so we could buy things we all would use, like toilet paper, towels, dish detergent, and laundry detergent. As it turns out, Danny, Ella, Francesca, and I bought most of the stuff we needed, like a couch, small dining table, dishes, silverware, drinking glasses, cookware, food storage containers, etc. Things went pretty well during the fall semester. Shortly after that, however, things started to decline. Abby's boyfriend, Andy, basically moved in with us, and the two of them started acting like they owned the place. I'm already frustrated. Left a dirty dish in the sink. They leave a passive-aggressive note about how rude it was to do that. Come home after the library closed at midnight. Abby and Andy went to bed at 10, and if we woke them up, there was hell to pay. Pretty soon, Brooke and her boyfriend Brad were acting in much the same way. Oh no. This is why I could never live with other people besides the one I'm married to and my kids, because I have to. But thank God that I never had to go through that. I don't know, I would not have been able to deal with it. Especially me, because I'm a doormat, basically. By early February, it was clear to Danny, Ella, Fran, and me that we did not want to live with Abby and Brooke another year. 4 of us found a different off-campus place and signed a lease. We let Abby and Brooke know, and from then on, 2 of them plus their boyfriends went from partial jerks to complete jerks. So what were they expecting though? What's her name? Abby. Has she paid for anything? Doubt it. They do things like stop the clothes washer mid-wash. What? Take our clothes out, dump them out on the floor, and start their own laundry. Hell to the no. They'd use up all the hot water by taking super long showers. They'd write return to sender on our mail. What? That's criminal. What in the hell? They destroyed flowers our boyfriends sent or brought us. They refused packages. They'd stop contributing to the shared supply fund and stop doing chores. I'm surprised they did any chores.
That's 2 things in this house that won't work.
Then go fix them.
2 things that won't work.
About a week before Memorial Day, Ella got a call from the landlord on our new place saying previous tenants had moved out and we could move in early, it would like at no charge. Yes. Oh man. I cannot imagine how good that must have felt to hear. Danny, Ella, Fran, and I discussed it and decided to get out of the current house ASAP, but didn't tell Abby and Brooke of our plans. Good, fuck that. It's none of their business. Memorial Day weekend rolls around and Abby, Brooke, and their boyfriends head out of town to go camping while the rest of us put our plan into action. With the help of friends, Daniela, Fran, and I got all our stuff moved out. And when I say all, I mean all. Living room furniture, dining room furniture, dishes, silverware, cookware, food storage containers, baking supplies, shower curtains, rugs, lamps, vacuum, broom, dustpan, etc. We also decided that since neither Abby nor Brooke had contributed to the shared household supply fund since March, the toilet paper, paper towel, dish detergent, laundry detergent, and so forth was ours, so we took all of that too. I cannot imagine them walking into completely empty house. I would have paid to see their faces. Abby, Brooke, and their boyfriends were shocked to return from their camping trips to an empty house. What made our petty revenge even sweeter was that on their way home from the camping trip, all 4 of them got food poisoning and were really, really sick. It's almost like karma, you know? The scathing texts we got about moving on unannounced and taking all shared household goods. Shared? They were sharing with you.
Bob Saget.
Especially the toilet paper, priceless. Danny, Ella, Fran, and I are great friends still. And I are great friends still get a good laugh about the situation about 12 years later. None of us have heard from Abby and Brooke since graduation. They were butthurt. Great. Oh my god. I mean, I'm glad you weren't alone in this situation, that you had your other friends that were also feeling, you know, the same. Diarrhea and vomiting with no TP or paper towels. Well, go on. Don't worry, they had all the hot water. It's kind of like universal justice getting a jump start. That's what I'm saying. What you put out into the universe will come to you 3 times worse. That's what's up. They would return your mail. Oh my god, I would be so mad. That's illegal. You can't mess with other people's mail. Some t-shirts lost their lives that day. Gross. Ugh. I bet they had to cut them up too. Somebody was in charge of cutting up the t-shirts to use as toilet paper. Let's go to the next one. All right, first grade teacher and squats. This all happened between 2008 and 2009. 2008 and 2009, I was in... Alright, I'm getting anxious thinking about how old I'm getting. Am I really that old? This all happened in between 2008 and 2009. My teacher in first grade, Mrs. M, would make us hold a squat for 20 minutes for any minor wrong action you did. 20 minutes? That is
not good for kids.
If you broke the squat, time started over with 5 minutes added. Oh my god. My daughter's in first grade right now. If she told me that her teacher was doing this, I would personally go over there.
Have a conversation.
Like, not that I condone violence, but sometimes, you know, this violence is needed. I would
talk with her.
Her friend next door, Mrs. B, was worse. It was 1 hour. She made her kids hold it. But I bet they could not hold a squat for 5 minutes. Well, I informed my grandparents, and my grandmother told me if they ever threaten that with you, you tell them to call me. Fast forward, my teacher, along with others, had lunch duty, so 3 classrooms in 1. When next door to Mrs. B, we were reading a dinosaur book out loud. I was mouthing the words. Mrs. B told me, Miss T, you better start actually reading out loud or you're going to hold a squat. I told her what my grandmother told me to do in that situation. She called my bluff and called my grandmother. Mrs. B explained the situation to my grandmother. My grandmother was not on speaker. Mrs. B kept trying to argue with my grandmother. We all stopped reading because you could hear my grandmother cussing her out. They never threatened me with that again. What is wrong with you? Like, as a teacher, what the heck is wrong with you? Mrs. M and Mrs. B? Kind. What type of teacher makes first graders squat? Exactly. This one just got me mad. But grandma to the rescue. I know my daughter's grandma, my mom, would cuss out her teachers. Easy. Okay, let's continue. Let's see. 4 words. Whole Foods parking lot. I think I know where this is going. About a year ago, at the tail end of the pandemic, I made the very big mistake of going to Whole Foods at peak hours. I'm not sure what the Whole Foods parking lots are like in the rest of the country, but I've been to quite a few on the East Coast and they are all the same. 7th level of hell. Is it the clientele? Is it the layout? Is it the urgency to go buy overpriced foods? Anyhow, this particular location is an absolute shit show and it triggers all types of rage within me. I've had several altercations in this parking lot, but this one takes the cake. I was patiently waiting to turn into a spot next to a car where the driver, an elderly woman, had her door wide open. I was allowing her the time to get her life together and close the door. Whoa. Feel that thunder. So I could pull in next to her. I was waiting for 5+ minutes with my left directional on. I then see a car driving towards me coming from the opposite direction. They waited there for maybe a minute. slid right into the spot I've been waiting for. Oh, hell no. Almost taking the elderly lady's door off. Oh my gosh. I got like hot with frustration. I went numb. Rather than brush it off, I just had to know why this did this. I waited for her to get out of the car and lowered my window. Excuse me, why did you do that? You saw me waiting with my directional. She looks right at me and flips me off with a double bird and says, sorry, and continues walking into the store. Are people really like this? Jeez. To quote a favorite movie of mine, the dishes were done, man. I've never in my life experienced the type of rage that took over my body. My knee-jerk reaction was the following: whipping my car around in the next row and parking as far away from the car as I could. Once stopped, I looked around my car for some type of liquid, cold coffee, old soft drink cup, but was out of luck. Suddenly a calm came over me, and I knew exactly what I had to do. Where is this going? Let me preface this by saying that the only vandalizing I've ever done in my life was egging an ex-boyfriend's house in high school. Do you guys remember like the baloney thing where you throw balonies at like houses and cars? I'm not saying that I did it, but that's it. I've never stolen anything and am honest to a fault. I stepped out of my car, big Meryl Streep sunglasses on, fabulous long flowing coat with my hair, and gracefully walked back to the road this was parked. I never once stopped walking as I flicked my VW key open like a switchblade, walked down the side row of her car and sliced that baby from ass to nose. I dug my key so hard into her car, that car, that I heard it. I glanced back to check my work and it was good. I then breezed into a Whole Foods, looked around for her like a total creep, but then decided that justice had been served. The end. Man, I wish I had the guts to do something like that, because a lot of people are like assholes to me when I'm out in public. Ooh, my face is peeling. I usually come into contact with assholes when I'm alone with my kids or just by myself in public. Man, I wish I had these balls to do this. All right, next one. This was my petty revenge. 2 years ago, I was engaged and happy. That all came to a crashing halt when I found out my fiance had cheated on me at a party with a girl he knew from way back in high school. Damn, I'm sorry. His best friend texted me a photo evidence and of it happening, so we can't deny what happened. Well, good for him. I mean, good for the friend that sent you that picture. Not everybody is a piece of shit. 3 months prior to that, we had planned to move in together. 2 nights later, we were supposed to move in together at my place. The night he was packing it up, I packed my up too. I was renting from an elderly man, super sweet guy, and told him I would not be renewing my lease after I got that text. My friends helped load all of my things up and I left. I waited to get the text about why he couldn't get into the house and why it was vacant. I sent him the picture and I sent the picture I was sent. I also sent it to his mother, his father, his stepmother, and his stepfather. Dang, got the whole family. That afternoon, I changed my phone number and deactivated my email so he can't get a hold of me. His parents won't let him move back in with them, and he is homeless. Oh. Even his best friend isn't his best friend anymore. Yeah. Good. Somebody has, brains in that friendship. Last I heard, he got addicted and is now living in a homeless camp. Oh my god. Edit. When I talked to his parents, I also wrote them a check and the amount that they spent. I told them we broke up. They asked why. I told them why. By sending the picture that was sent to me. His parents' choices and his ex-best friend's choices were their own. His drug use, all his homelessness was his choice. I mean, yeah. I can't imagine what would have happened if, you guys had stayed married. If he ended up like this, I'm sure he would have, I don't know. I don't want to judge, but I wonder how that marriage would have went. The way everyone else reacted tells me this was not the first time he pulled some crap like this. Yep. It was more like the straw that broke the camel's back for everyone. Yeah, this dude was a walking red flag, and the cheating was just a cherry on top. OP probably knows now she should have dumped this dude before It even got to that point. Yeah, like you were about to move in together. Damn, what a dodge that bullet for sure. All right, let's do this one. Me for help. Staying at home. Original hours with our company. Since there was no business coming in and since the bulk of my income was commissioned from sale of travel packages, which was not coming in, I had run into a small financial dilemma and needed a bit of funds to cover my rent for a month. Makes sense? So I reached out to my boss to ask for a salary advance,
I can't read!
which is to be deducted from my paycheck at the end of the month. By the way, for context, it is an employee's legal right in finance to have a salary advance if needed, for as long as the amount of the advance is covered in full by your end of the month's paycheck. Yeah, it's like a day loan. My boss told me that it is not possible and messaged me the following text: if you have personal financial problems, you should check with your banker. I was flabbergasted by his response, especially because I was his top seller and brought in 1.4 million euros in revenue the year before the pandemic. Damn. Like, you would expect some type of, human compassion. I don't know, maybe your boss is rolling in dough and he doesn't really care. He doesn't give a shit because it's not him. You know what I'm saying? Even though I knew he was a dick, I never imagined he would refuse my access to this right of mine as an employee. I could have sent him a formal letter of demand by mail to force him to give me the advance as provided by the labor laws, but I decided not to, as I was able to borrow money from a friend. Weeks gone by after the incident of business hasn't improved. The company's funds are dwindling since no income was coming in. To help French companies, the government decided to give them an option to decrease the vacation levels of their employees by somehow allowing them to impose vacation times even when the employees are not working anyway on those days. If I could remember correctly, it was 3 days that they can fully impose without objection from the employee and 4 days extra with the consent of the employee. All of my colleagues agreed to give their vacation time except for me and another disgruntled co-worker. Since we still haven't given our consent and the end of this government is sneering, he messaged me and the other employees stating that we are the only people who haven't agreed. He is saying that we should help the company as it is going through financial problems due to the pandemic, and that it would really be nice of us to give him our consent. Take this consent and the audacity, I tell you. Upon receipt of the message, I promptly responded with the following text: I am really sorry to hear that the company is going through some financial problems. But let me remind you of the advice you gave me when I asked you for help a couple of weeks back. If you have financial problems, I suggest you talk to your banker. And that means I am not going to give you my vacation leave. I had the guts to be upfront because I know that he can never fire me due to my performance and very strong French labor laws. And I was also planning on leaving soon anyway. Yes. I wished I was in front of him when I told him that. Knowing him, I'm pretty sure he went all red and mad when he read that message. And his forehead veins, should be visibly throbbing. Ew. Like whenever he is mad at someone, ugh. He was too shook that the only response he gave me was, okay. I was extremely satisfied with my comeback that I had a smile on my face the entire week. Revenge can really be satisfying. Yes it can. I bet this one was sweet. I did enjoy this. I mean, I think it goes to say, for most companies, especially like a travel agency like this, you're dispensable, so good for you for standing up for yourself. Don't give your soul to these people. Don't waste your energy on people or a company who does not respect you. So yes, I enjoyed this one very much. Okay, next one. John went out and got a degree. Okay, this is the story of our CEO, who I admire and respect, became CEO. How? He had been SVP for a few years now, and the owner of the company wanted him to take over as CEO, as the owner was going to retire and the company was going to transition into more of a corporate governing structure. Some of this had already been completed, like they had a board of directors, etc. The debate over who would be the CEO came down. You fight to the death. John, he was hired by this company straight out of college when he was 21. He grew from the bottom up. He had worked in basically every department, led every department and understands the company inside and out. Okay, who else do you need? Alex came into the company as a VP. He has an MBA and experience in the industry. He was the second favorite to become a CEO. I mean, having a degree doesn't always mean that you're better than somebody who has been doing this from the beginning. In an early discussion, the board apparently wanted to vote on who would become the interim CEO before the owner retired. They wanted this to be an 18-month run-up, as taking over was considered a big deal. Alex knew John was the primary contender and had him beat out by a few votes. So Alex brought up the fact that in the company bylaws, it stated the executive officer, CEO, CTO, CIO, CFO, all had to have college degrees. Therefore, John wasn't qualified. That's stupid. This caused the meeting come to an end. I believe at this point, Alex felt he had John beat. So John went to the owner and had a conversation. At the next meeting, the CEO stated he intended on doing 1 year longer. The board was shocked, but nothing said the CEO had to retire when he said he would. That's when John went into action. You see, John had 90 college credits. His brother was also the assistant dean at the local community college. John was an English major. I can't talk today. And this company hired him 35 years prior. 35 years. That's a long time. The local community college quickly admitted John as a senior into the English lit major. Due to John's 35 plus years of business, 3 required business classes were given to him. John also loved math. He plucked his final math class. This gave John 102 credits, 18 credits shy. So John enrolled in the 12 credits for the spring semester. He completed those and finished up his last 6 credits in the 8-week summer semester, sorry. In the Q3 board meeting, the CEO announced he was prepared to allow the board to vote on his replacement come the Q4 meeting. The CEO made it clear he considered the 2 frontrunners, John and Alex. Alex brought up the fact that John needed a degree. John smiled, reached into his briefcase, and pulled out his diploma from the community college, clearly showing he graduated with honors with a major in English Lit. He said, in the Q4 meeting, John won by a landslide to become the next CEO. Yes. John helped on the company and he wanted to be a CEO. Alex tried to stop him over the technicality that he was clearly the second favorite. John went out to get his degree. I would posted this malicious compliance, but the story has to be about you there, and this story isn't about me. John was just a great mentor of mine and something that I really appreciate. And he shared this story with me over a few beers one night. What happened to Alex? Yeah. Where is Alex? Oh, he left shortly after, and I'm sure no one missed him. Good riddance. Goodbye, Alex. All right, guys, don't forget to change your dryer lint. Clean it out. House will catch on fire. We'll see you later. Subscribe.